What is happening, everybody? All right, so Nitto Tri-5 R2, basically the drag radial version of the G2. So I want to give you guys a quick walk around. I know some of y'all were asking about rim protectors, whatever. No, these tires definitely don't have that. And let me get you kind of a shot of the bulge that this thing has. And this is kind of an issue for me. Check that out right there. There you go. These tires are actually 12.3 something inches wide. They're about the same width as a 315, which is kind of a problem because on the backside of these fender wells right in here, you just don't have a whole lot of room. And if you haven't already done the work to your inner fender well and you're running these 10.5 inch replicas and you're used to running Tri-5s, you're going to have to definitely do some work to that inner fender well to keep these things from rubbing. And if you've already done a little bit of work, you may have to revisit that. Of course, passenger side's typically the tighter of the two on these Challengers. But anyway, let's dive into some of this. So one of the issues that I have with these are the fact that these things are so busy. These things right here have got the little grooves in them. You kind of really can't see. I don't really have a macro. Anyway, this is just kind of annoying. You know, they're a little bit loud, a little bit really too wide. I mean, I don't know if this will show it. It's got a little bit of a bulge to it. Kind of a tiny compromise on a contact patch. But anyway, check out my other video for some of the traction launching vids or whatever on the street. Anyway, you know, it's one of these things where dirt just kind of gets in here. So already it's distracting. But now I'm looking at something that's just going to collect dirt. And also any tire dressing that you spray on here, you're going to have to wipe the hell out of that to get it out of these grooves. So that's already one issue. Not only is it just busy, a little bit too wide really for its size, but it's just going to be kind of a maintenance issue. Maybe it is for you guys, maybe it won't be. For me, that's something that'll just make me it'll drive me nuts. But, I mean, let me show you a different thing. I don't have a Tri-5s, but I do have my Mickey Thompsons. And as you can see, I mean, they're pretty chill. You know, tells you what kind of tire it is. Gives a little bit of branding. Mickey Thompson, and then the size. Sorry. So, just kind of giving you an idea as far as, you know, when you're looking at these tires, this is a really clean looking tire. It doesn't really distract you from the car. Whereas, on the other hand, this one, just a little too distracting. All right, so one thing, I'm hoping this will show up for you on the video. These are really deep grooves. All the tread pattern goes all the way down to this base groove here. Nice center patch here as well. Nice beefy looking tread pattern. Fairly aggressive, and I believe this is going to actually be better in the rain than a Tri-5, mainly because these channels here go, again, all the way down to the center groove, whereas a Tri-5 doesn't necessarily do that. I've yet to get this car and these tires out in the rain, but I have done that with the Tri-5R, and on a fresh set of Tri-5s, they drove just like a normal set of Tri-5s in the rain. So I'm assuming these are going to be the same way, probably a little bit better in the rain. So if rain performance is something that's on the top of your list or near it, probably a good idea to give these tires a shot. Especially if the busyness of the tire itself doesn't necessarily turn you off. All right, guys, so I guess if the question is, would I buy these tires again? Man, it's kind of hard to say. Check out the video. I'll link it somewhere down here in the description. I did a couple of 0 to 60 hits with them. Again, they were at street pressure. They were at 30 cold, 32 hot. You know, I wasn't expecting to set the world on fire, but here's the thing. They didn't really hook any differently than a set of Tri-5Rs. So in those conditions, didn't do me any favors. But I will say this. The tire feels like it might have a little bit better sidewall. It feels like it might be a little bit more stable at high speed. It's kind of hard to tell. Again, my comments in the video, I'm saying, you know, it feels like it handles a little bit better. It feels like it's stable. It's fine. But that's kind of what you expect, especially from Nitto. I mean, we're talking about tires that are going on cars that are regularly run past 130, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever miles an hour. they're regularly run to those numbers, and obviously they do just fine. Where the G2 and by comparison the Nitto Tri-5 R2 really comes into play is going to be in wet weather conditions, I think, with that really deep channel and the fact that the grooves go all the way to that channel. In other words, they're very deep channels as opposed to the Tri-5s. I think in that respect, you're looking at a superior tire. But Nitto, come on. What is with all the busyness on the outside of the tire? It's a little bit distracting, number one, and number two, it just kind of makes it a maintenance pain in the ass. And also, I have to admit, the issue with the width, you might go, well, what's the deal with this 1/4 of an inch? Why are you complaining about a 1/4 of an inch? Well, the problem is that space is at a premium on these Challengers. And again, if you have already done the work to your inner fender well to accommodate a 10.5 inch wide tire with a 305 size, 10.5 inch wheel with a 305 size tire, then you may have to revisit that. I'm actually probably going to have to do a little bit of work on my passenger side just to make sure that I've got enough clearance. It's not rubbing, but I just don't want it to be that close. And that's something that I'm going to have to change because of the tire swap. So, is it a big deal? No, I'm literally drilling a hole in a piece of plastic that thin, and I'm just pulling and reinserting a push pin. So no, it's not a big deal, but it's still something to consider. And really, when it boils down to it, the question is going to be, is it a better tire than the Tri-5? Is it worth the extra money that you're going to spend on the Tri-5 R2? Right now, my opinion is no, because I haven't got it in the rain, and of course, I don't really go looking to drive my car in the rain. But realistically, for what I use my car for in this configuration, when I've got the 20s on it, that's basically in my street trim. It's in road trip trim, if you will. And I'm really not worried about the tire's looks, to be honest. I know I'm picking on it, but for me personally, it doesn't really bother me a lot, mainly because they just have to be functioning, good traction giving tires. And it's not an issue if it doesn't exist. Like in the Tri-5s, they look good. They're a good looking tire. This one, a little bit distracting, but in terms of performance, they're at least as good. Again, the width issue, I've got a little bit of a problem with that. If I wanted 315s, I'd have bought 315s. These are, again, just a little bit too wide for the fender well and for a 10.5 inch wheel. Although you Charger guys are going to love them because you can easily run 11 inch wide wheels in the back, and these tires are going to fit really well. So hopefully that helps you out. I can't think of anything that I've forgotten. Again, I will post a link in the bottom to that quick scrubbing in, if you will, video that I did on these tires. Hope that helps you out. Hope that gives you some information, and make your decision with it and do with it as you will. That's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out. Adios.